Alrighty, back at it. I think Austin's supposed to get on, but right now he's MIA. Offic. Hello there. Hi. Okay. I think I'm just about ready to get going. Let's get rid of this camera. I'll tell you this right now, I've got my hand on my gun for this stream. Alright, Gabe. Oh, jeez. You guys. This was a G-rated stream until like 6 seconds ago. So this is where we're at. This is the original mesh right here from before. And we got what I've done right here. It's weird because this handle is not that big, but like, because like it's like, where would you put some kind of clip in here? There's no way. So right now I'm toying with the idea of having you put the battery, for that matter, because it's sci-fi. I'm having you toying with the matter of putting the battery somewhere in this guy here. But we'll get there. There's this weird hole right here. I don't know what this is supposed to be, so like maybe it could go in there. Now it's still all open and up in the air. Hello, I have come for the Sci and Fizz. Sci and Fizz. Okay. Hello, Hunter Shadow. We're gonna try something. I tried this before. I'm opening up Maya 2015 because the rendering in 2016 is usually not really good for. Well, actually, I take that back. We might actually be able to do this because it's not Mental Ray. It's the regular Maya software, which is like really bad. It's like VeggieTales quality from the 90s. So see if it loads up the textures. It does not. Okay. So we'll try it in the other Maya. But with 2015, it wasn't importing the FBX of the original model, which is weird. So we're gonna find out if it does. Oh boy, the list is growing. The weapon list is growing. Screenshot, zoom and enhance. What is he working on? Okay. Yeah, unrecognized file type. That's ridiculous. So, unfortunately, we can't really look at the... Because I think I got it to work like once before. I could have sworn I did. I might actually be able to find a screenshot. Yeah, here it is. So, yeah, there's something weird right there. So this is the original model right here that for some reason it would render properly, but now it doesn't. So I'm glad I saved a picture of it. See, I'm confused what... Okay, I'm confused why they would... Look at this little stretch right there. Okay, I'll tell you what, I took a render of the rocket launcher. That looks so much different than what I would expect from TS2. So, that's pretty cool. But this is the Sci Fi Handgun stream. We're not going to look at all these guns. We're going to put this over here for now. Okay. I've already decided I want to redo all this, so... I have this workflow habit when it comes to grips that I don't like. And this doesn't just not look that great to me. So we're gonna do something different. Who's there?
You do realize you're asking for trouble by sitting inside of this chat. You know that, right?
I do. Me and Austin had this idea.
What idea?
Where I was like, hey, you know what? If we're gonna be streaming later, we can just be in this chat, and anyone who wants to join can join in and partake on the stream.
Even though they won't be watching the stream because of the delay.
You mean like you or?
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm just looking at it, and I saw that you were trying to change up the way the gun loads.
Yeah, because I mean, unless I make this grip like wider or just have more depth, it doesn't seem feasible. But it's the same size as the original, so it's like, well, where do you go from that, you know?
Yeah, they didn't really work in the loading mechanisms for their guns. You see,
yeah.
the Sci Fi pistol in TimeSplitters 2 doesn't have a magazine, even though it has reserve ammo, but the plasma auto rifle, which doesn't have reserve ammo, does have a magazine.
I know, that's a giant thing. I know what you're talking about.
It's a very strange design choice, but it's one we have to stick to and respect.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to introduce yourself to our 3 viewers that are probably wondering who you are?
What are you talking about? Nobody needs to know who I am.
Fair enough. You are our mystery man.
I've just come here to judge you on your modeling skills while you're doing it.
Hey, it looks pretty bad, like, as I'm doing it, but, like, I mean, hey, like, the end results are usually pretty okay, so... But getting there is the challenge.
Okay.
Especially
What were you
because
gonna do? Were you gonna add a magazine in the handle, or were you gonna?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe putting a battery like somewhere else. I'm just gonna call it like the battery for now. But like possibly put it somewhere where the weird where it like where like you put a flashlight. There's this weird just giant block that just makes the gun like super fat.
Yeah, but it merges into the trigger guard.
I know. So like having that merge there, just making it look nice is gonna be tricky.
Well, do you remember what the Future Perfect reload sequence looks like for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sci-fi pistol?
It's like a
You could do
weird.
something similar to that because
I could.
basically the magazine inserts in front of the trigger.
Yeah, it does.
And
Huh.
so you could have an energy cell be ejected from the big clump there, because if you look at the original gun's texture, I don't think they actually textured anything there.
I have a picture. So if you wait for the stream to update, you'll be able to see it. It's yeah, I can almost have these little hatches that kind of like pop open on the side, and the cell like comes out.
Yeah, well, like in Future Perfect, you have something
Yeah,
very similar. It's just that in Future Perfect, it's a full magazine, and the magazine seems to attach to the handle.
yeah, yeah. And what's his name? Ant. He did a great job with that model, and I was like taking a look at it, and he did a great job.
Has that model been shown off?
I think it was in the last update for the end of December.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it was.
But yeah, so you could think of something like that for the reload sequence.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, there's just like compared to the rest of the gun, like the grip is just tiny. But I mean, like you're not gonna see it anyway, so what's the point?
it's true. And you can also hide it with the animation. You don't
Yeah.
need to actually see the energy cell eject. You can always just have the dude slap the underbarrel of the gun.
Or the gun could aim upward, and the cell comes out of the left-hand side, so that you see it kind of eject it and then fall down, and then like another one slides in. But the gun is kind of, it's rotated upward and angled at a way where you're not going to see the handle.
Well, remember, the animation should be fairly quick.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, especially for a pistol. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be like 16 frames or like.
well, how long's that audio clip? It goes like that. So how quickly can you do a pistol reload
Yeah,
animation?
yeah. I mean, I originally did those for the pistol because like when I joined, there wasn't really anybody doing animation, so I wasn't sure exactly what you guys wanted. And I'm pretty sure when I studied it, it was something like 14 frames to like 16 frames. I mean, it was pretty short.
Yeah.
I mean, but it definitely took longer than the animation for actually getting the gun out. If we're like actually like switching to that gun versus
You mean deploying and holstering the weapon?
deploying it. Yes, we can use those words. For
So, yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say for organizing like the files for like Crafty for all the animations I'm doing, I've adopted the names of just switch in and then switch out. I mean, versus having like like deploy and then holster. Those are when you put all the animation files, which is like 12 to 15 of them ish. At least to me, it just makes better sense to have trying to organize it as best as you can.
Yeah. I mean, switching. I'm sure it'd be easier if you kept it like that. Now you've already started importing the animations, but when we do get a character rig ready, we are probably going to be redoing all the animations anyway.
Right. Well, not the first person animations, right? Or
No, yeah, the first person animations are going to be redone, I think.
because as far as what the community knows right now, based on the last update, our current plan is to have handless the animations for all the TS2 and TS1 stuff. But then anything that's like from Future Perfect, it will have hands. That's what I've heard. So.
I think there was a bit of a mistranslation there for that particular bit of information. It was that the weapons would have optional hands, and you could turn the hands off.
Ah.
So that was always a part of the design brief for the game, is to have it so that you could switch it for any weapon. So even the Future Perfect weapons, you could take the hands off if you really wanted to. Considering that some of the Future Perfect weapons, I think we're actually ignoring some of the 2 versions and the 1 versions of weapons and just going straight to the Future Perfect versions.
Yeah. Well, like the Sci Fi Handgun, it doesn't make sense to do both the first and then the second game. They're practically the same.
They are basically the same thing. So the first and second game, Sci Fi Handgun, is going to be exactly the same model, functionality, and everything. So it's really just going to be the Future Perfect one and the 2 one, rather than all of these needless variants.
Mm-hmm.
Because the model's practically the same.
Well, you see, that does bring up the question, what happened to 2 and 1? I think we need to remake every single weapon. Regardless of if they've been remade, just remake them.
Okay, Austin, you can do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, on the way. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, look at that thing next to your name. It says weapon artist, so I'm pretty sure that you can do all that.
Now look to the left. That's a thing that David loves.
Look to the left. What?
To the left.
I'm already.
Puppy.
I'm already. Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to eat right now. Apologies.
Our unnamed mystery guest that is here, Austin. We already had a discussion about all that stuff. So.
Oh, Gabe Newell, you talking about?
Sure.
Gabe Newell. That's the mystery guest, guys. Gabe Newell.
Great, Gabe.
Sweet.
Alright. Push it up. Oh.
We are hearing a man trying to struggle with Discord at the moment.
I found it.
There you go. So yeah, before that, we're not going to have a version of every single weapon from every single game.
Yeah.
It's just going to be, if the weapon is different enough, then yeah, that's going to happen.
What are your thoughts on the Electro Tool?
Electro Tool, don't need 2 Electro Tools.
Yep.
Just need 1.
Same here. I want to do the second one, to be honest, because the third one didn't have the wheel that like spins. And I love that.
It did.
I love that spinning wheel. I think it's so cool.
So why don't you mix both of them? Take aspects from.
Oh, for sure. Like, cause I mean, you know that I modeled it a long time ago. I did like a somewhat of a rough like draft of it, and so I mean, I'm pretty sure you like. The third one has this weird energy pipe thing on the very top, or kind of like on like the back, and you can see it. But the second one like doesn't have it. But I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
I'm really trying to find some footage now of the Electro Tool to see if it actually doesn't spin, because I thought it did spin.
Well, the second one does. The TS2 version does.
No, I thought the Future Perfect one spun as well.
I don't think it does. If I recall correctly, if there was a wheel, it was kind of like concealed, and there was like a small gap where you could see energy flow.
Let's look at this. Check this out. Okay. Well, I found the video. You're right.
Yeah.
It really doesn't spin.
Because when I made it, I studied like that gun. I was like, it was kind of like just a test thing. I was like, well, I might be applying for a position, so.
Wait, you made the Electro Tool?
Yeah, I did it was like probably about a year and almost maybe 2 years ago. I don't know.
I think it was 2 years ago because that was before I got into 3D.
That could be our field trip. Let's go look at my Electro Tool model.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm sure all 2 of your viewers would love it.
Hey, we're up to like 6 right now. I mean, it depends on, because I have the window open, so technically it's 1 less. I think you're watching, so okay.
I have 2 windows open.
Field trip time.
I'm just gonna get
Austin's.
Hey, but I upload these streams and people watch them afterwards, so.
Yeah, Austin's all 9 of the viewers right now. He's just got the window open 9 times.
Hunter says the spin is a must. I agree, Hunter.
If it doesn't spin, it's useless. That's my motto.
If it doesn't spin, it's useless. So the baseball bat's useless.
Hey,
We need a sci-fi baseball bat.
To use because you spin the baseball bat when getting it out.
Yeah, you do in Future Perfect. You do take it out and toss it.
Get ready to probably somewhat vomit in your mouth, Alfred.
Oh, are you talking, or the electric tool?
Yeah, let's have a look at this.
I gotta switch the axis.
I'm actually on your Facebook trying to find it right now.
Alt home. There we go. So this is my electric tool model that I did. I was really nervous about trying to do too much because I was like, well, I at that point in time, I didn't know what your guys' quality bar was kind of like as far as like how far do I push this.
Stupidly high.
Yeah. But
we need at least 2 million polygons on each weapon.
Yeah,
That'd be
at
sweet.
least.
That's what I was told.
Yeah, that was what you were told. God
Yeah,
damn.
Hannah told me that.
Yeah, she did.
I do like the side view though, or like the top, just the way that the little like latches things are. It'd be fun to rig and animate for sure, for certain. But yeah, here's my little arms. The arms were such a weird shape, like, because at that time I wasn't on the team, so I didn't get the like original mesh, so I just studied it from every perspective I could get my hands on, including the game. Obviously, I added some wires and stuff, some little doohickeys. We got our spinning wheel. Yay. You know what? While we look at this, we're going to make it spin.
I don't know if I should point out what Gabe Newell said.
What did Gabe Newell say? Gabe Newell says, you've got my tool going right now. Oh my gosh. Chat, I'm not going to say everything you guys say, but dang it. I thought that this was G-rated for a while, but Gabe got here. And
what the hell does G-rated mean?
Oh, like, just, like G-rated.
What does G stand for in G-rating?
General audience, I think.
Yes, yep.
Yes.
That is it, yep.
Is that one of your weird ratings you have in that place?
Yes, in that place, in the MPAA of the Motion Picture Association of America. Yes. Yes.
Right.
So this is my electro tool.
I will admit, the U for Universal over here is always confused me when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because I thought it would be E for everybody, but no, it's U for Universal.
Temporal uplink bat. What?
I like it.
Are we actually gonna be doing that model? The little uplink device from TS2? Is that?
Of course.
TS2, I kind of want to.
Yeah, that's
cool.
a given that's going to be in.
Oh, we're gonna put Anaconda in the game.
I think the confusion with it is that it was the temporal uplink, but in Future Perfect you also have the temporal uplink. So if we do have hands, are you gonna have a temporal uplink when you're holding the temporal uplink
Just
from time?
bash someone over the head with this thing.
Well, because the temporal uplink isn't a weapon you can use in multiplayer, so you'd never have that issue. Besides, I think it would be interesting to have it with hands because it has the little joystick in TS2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
The joystick moves whenever in whatever direction you walk in, so you can just have it with like a little hand on it, just pushing the joystick around.
I remember that. Wow.
Yeah.
Fly around the joystick. Gabe Newell is gonna make a joystick joke. I just know it. Or at least I hope he does.
Well, he's made a gun joke, a tool joke. I do like the mature audience that is the TimeSplitters audience.
Wait, we're mature?
I mean, did you... I'm being sarcastic. Jesus. Is this all the people in the fucking Discord? Oh shit! Sorry. Oh god damn it! Oh sorry. I forgot we wanted it to be to be G-rated, was it? Go. Yeah.
I mean, if we want to go PG-13, we've already dropped one F-bomb, so we're still not to R yet, but it's only been 15 minutes. I don't think.
Hey,
Yeah.
I just want to jump in here and say that F-bomb was not from me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What are you talking about? It's only you and Igus in here.
Hey, you joined before me.
Hey, I'm not even in here.
There we go.
I remember actually, I was a part of a live stream. There's this voice actor I know who's been in games and stuff, and he did a live stream on YouTube. And I was in the live stream, but somebody joined the chat and immediately started swearing, and he immediately left the chat and apologized on his stream.
Oh my gosh.
And I was thinking, wow, yeah, he's taking this G rating pretty seriously. But that did happen, and I was a bit upset because it was like, man, we're talking with dude. He's a cool dude. Oh no, the cool dude's gone because some idiot decided to come along and start swearing their tits off. Sorry.
Hey, I can only make requests. You guys, free speech, I guess.
Well, you're the one who's enforcing the G rating.
Yeah, I was until after the F-bomb dropped. Well, G is a huge stretch. That's the G rating at this point is not going to happen. That's okay.
Yeah, I like Gabe Newell's comment.
The real one Discord. Oh. Wait, what? That's a good point, actually. All of it.
Blatant racism.
Then again, I don't know, and I haven't actually gone into the NSFW chat.
I stepped foot in there once, and I was like, "What did I just do?" And then I left. I was,
Well,
I joined at that time.
I'm not asking for anything healthy if I do that, so I decided just not to do that. I'm in several groups which have an NSFW chat, and I just don't join them. I'm not a prude or anything. I just think that that's an excuse to go absolutely mental. And there are all sorts of people who do ask to get onto the team.
Yeah.
All sorts.
Yep.
Let's not draw out any examples, but there are all sorts of people who do try and join into the team.
Like me, I tried joining when I was like 13. I remember that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I mean, not really, but I sent the Facebook page, like, all the 3D stuff I was working on, and it's just, looking back on it, I was terrible at art.
Guys, I have really good ideas in, like, map maker designs. Like, can I join?
Yeah, I didn't, like, ask to join the team, but I was like, hey, how is my 3D stuff, like, low-key? Like, I want to join the team.
When was this? What year?
2014?
I would have been on the team at the time.
Let me see.
No, I would have. It would have been. I would have seen that. So, but I don't think I ever did.
That goes back a ways. You probably just like brushed it off as some tryhard fanboy.
That, or whoever did get that message didn't share it with everyone else.
I doubt that they would.
Which did happen a few times.
Actually, I do remember because the old Facebook was merged with a new one, so it's going to be under a Facebook user.
And that was fairly recent though.
Yep, I found it. Yes, it was, but the Facebook was like I messaged the old Facebook, the old rewind.
Well, you got better.
Yeah, this was 2015, the first month of it.
You were 13 in 2015.
No, I was not. I was 15 in 2015, but I thought it was 2013 because I don't have any concept of time. Like how I thought yesterday was Thursday.
And you want to work on TimeSplitters.
Wait, today's Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday. I found that out after I finished with my day, actually. My little sister told me it was Wednesday, and I said, what?
your little assistant.
My sister.
Oh.
No, David didn't inform me that today was Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get a lot of chicken because that was very tasty.
You teens and your chicken nuggets.
Ah, God, I despise chicken nuggets. Like, I wouldn't go near those things. They just disgusted me. I hated fast food when I was a kid.
What?
Like, I hated it. Like, there were some good things, like, there weren't any good things because I always went to the coffee shop on my bike when I was like 9 with my sister.
Well, that was about
My older sister.
180. Oh, there are some good things. There weren't any good things, no. No,
I really just enjoyed coffee from McDonald's and that. That's all I had.
I didn't have fast food at all when I was a kid.
Aww.
I only started having it when I was going to college, and it was like lunch. I was always told horror stories about fast food restaurants and how
Horror stories.
well, just the unsavory conditions that they're made in, and when
Oh,
I got
yeah.
to a certain age, I just didn't care. It's like, I don't care, I'm hungry.
I worked in food for a while, I can tell you. I mean, it's not that bad. Depends on where you go, but it's all right.
Also, from my recent trip, I found that these conditions do shift from country to country.
Probably a lot too, I bet.
Yeah, it really does kind of broaden your view of things when you go to another country and have, you know, some food from the exact same fast food chain that's in your own country.
Oh gosh.
How did we start talking? Oh yeah, Austin.
Before you messaged me earlier, I had messaged you, I think earlier today, about I don't know how much we want to talk about this on stream, but I'm curious as to your thoughts.
Right now I have to go back through the conversation.
Because if you can get that part figured out, because when we figured out the weapon thing for getting those to work in CryEngine,
I mean,
you said it's apparently going to be a
asking a lot
very...
of me. I mean, it's...
Sleep on it, I guess.
I mean, I've been sleeping on a lot of things in terms of rewind.
Oh, hey, we don't want to hear that crazy boo. That's a little too personal.
Crazy boo.
Who's that? Why are you calling Gabe Newell Crazy Boo?
Honestly, there was just one day I just completely skipped over the 2 and I just called you Crazy Boo.
It's fine. I totally wasn't pretending to be secretive about who I am.
Spill the beans. Tell us the secret stuff, says Hunter. Just like
Well,
it's character related. I think that's what
it is. It is because if any of you have paid attention to any of the ongoings in the past year, I'm the guy who released all the character art on the forums. And
No way.
Gabe.
And basically, this was around a bit earlier than that. In 2016, I left the team, and I've since come back to the team as an advisory role. And I know all 2 of you are finding this very thrilling. What ended up happening is there's this idea that people have in their heads, which is where I said you can't use any of the characters I made. I never said that.
Really?
I never said that. No, Josh says I said that.
Wow.
But I said I prefer it if you didn't, and there was a reason why at the time, and the project wasn't going anywhere near as well as it is now.
Oh, so it is getting better.
Well,
kind of.
It's ups and downs.
Sure.
So it's been up, down, up, down, up, down, up. But currently it's at an up. But, you know, who knows how long that'll last.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, that's the secret stuff. Really, the discussion was what characters are ready to be used in the engine, and what Igus wants to ask me about is rigging. And
because I already have a lot on my plate, and I'm like, if you can just like handle that, by all means, I will start putting like animation together, and I will start to work on that.
I,
And if you want to teach me that process, by all means, I'm open to to learning. Because
yeah,
I took one class, and that's it. Because that's all that they gave us in my major.
well, my course wasn't that great either. They didn't really give us much in terms of time. I just happened to know a lot of these things going into it,
Mm,
so that's why I've excelled.
that's
But
fair.
you know, it's it's one of those things where I actually don't dig the building the skeleton and all that because it's tedious.
Sure.
I much prefer the waiting aspect, and the making the rig stuff is still something which is a bit, to me, it's not that fun. So, in general, you really just should get someone else to do it if you can. I mean, I know it's not as possible right now because we used to have someone on board the team who would do all that stuff,
Yeah.
and he's since. I'd say he's moved on to greener pastures, but unfortunately he has vanished from this realm.
Mm.
Last time I talked to him, he said, I'll talk to you later, and that was it. Talk to me later apparently meant in like a million years.
Jeez.
But it happens. A lot of the team come and go. I mean, how long are you guys going to stick around for this, do you think? Do you think you're going to be on until, the final 5 days?
As long as I can. I mean, I see a lot of work that has to be done, and I just I feel compelled to help out. And right now I'm at a point in life where it's like I should be doing this stuff because I just graduated. I'm still on the search for a job. I'm putting together a portfolio. What better way to practice my craft than work on this project versus wake up and be like, okay, what am I gonna do today? Okay, I gotta wake up and work on this because everyone's like, hey, do this.
I'd
So
say don't fall into the same trap I did.
yeah.
Oh, let me show something here. Hold up.
You finish chewing whatever you're chewing on.
Okay, I was trying to say I'm gonna say something too. Just give me a minute.
A minute?
I wasn't kidding.
Okay. But what I was going to say was, don't get so caught up in creating all these weapons that you completely disregard the other skills you're going to need to be employed.
Yeah, definitely. Which is why I want to do the actual animation stuff. Because that's what I want to actually do is do animation.
I'd say that. Oh wow, everybody's gone. I'd say I'd say that for in terms of animation, you really need to focus on getting those key concepts down because I'd say that you are still lacking in some areas, just
For sure.
judging from what I've seen. And the biggest area you need to improve upon right now is timing.
Okay.
And it's difficult to get down because timing.
You just have to do it. You have to do it a lot.
Yeah, you have to have a lot of practice. And I'd say you probably need more practice doing full body animation than doing first person animation to get better. I think for employable skills, it'd just be a good idea to grab some free rigs online. You probably use Norman. Have you used Norman?
I do. I actually have them. Yeah. I got 6 or 7 rigs, I think.
Yeah, then just kind of toy around with Norman and all those other rigs and just make some animations from that. If you want to be an animator, because your time for experimentation is done. You kind of need to do some stuff fast.
I know.
But I was planning on I wasn't planning on sticking around just because I had it with because I had a lot of stuff on my plate, literally and figuratively, because I am taking 10th grade classes the senior year. So I got all that worked out, but I think halfway through my first semester of this year, I was about to leave this team. But then the reason why I'm sticking on the team is because I really want to progress as an artist. And thank you so much, Alfred, for forcing me to use the texturing thing. I otherwise would not have gotten into it. So thank you so much. And thank you for bringing me on this team, because you're the one who did that.
I was the guy who said don't go on this team.
You were the guy who said don't go on this team, but at the same time you convinced Hannah otherwise to change her opinion, which I thank you.
True. Well,
it did help me for the better. Well, I really want to stick on the team until I can get to that really nice, not a plateau, but a really nice height with my art where it can stay in the game and not be replaced. And then I can say that I actually developed TimeSplitters Rewind. That's why I'm still here.
Okay, I'd say to you what I said to I just don't get caught in don't get caught in the trap of doing too much work but not improving your craft.
Yeah.
You know, you really should do some extra research into all of the all these other things like doing proper bakes and learning how to do proper textures, and I can help with that. I have plenty of things I have to say about those particular things. I'm not a great teacher. I'm really not a good teacher, but I can just throw some hints your way, just to get around the things which caused me a load of issues when I started doing that kind of stuff.
I think you're a good teacher, Crazy Boo.
I appreciate how blunt you are with everything you say. I really do.
A bit too much. I'm not typically an angry person, even if people think I'm an angry person. Though I did get angry earlier.
You're just blunt.
The anime thing?
I am fairly blunt, but no, I think that I'm blunt, but I think of it more as just being honest. So if I like something, I'm going to say what I like, and if I dislike something, I'm going to say what I dislike about that particular thing. And really, in terms of improving your craft, I think that's a good way to just kind of look at your own work, is to just outline what you need to change and what you're not happy with. Don't kid yourself. Don't ever say it'll do or it's good enough. If something's wrong and should be changed, change it. Even if it's painful. As it tends to be, especially with hard surface modeling, because hard surface modeling is very painful most of the time.
I feel like I'm obligated to say it's fun or something like that. But you're right. It's fun, but goddamn.
Yeah, things can be fun and painful. I mean, people play Dark Souls, right? So there is fun in the pain. I think some people call it masochism, but you know, it's still fun. And I'd say Rewind is kind of masochistic as a project to work on.
Oh yeah.
I mean, again, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again where I'm kind of like when I'm talking down the project, even though there are people who are going to watch this stream, who are watching this stream, who are thinking, what's this dude talking about? Isn't Rewind going
Who is this guy? Why is he still here?
Everything we want it to be? And my reaction is no. It's not going to be everything you want it to be, because it's made by how can I put this kindly?
A bunch of people who have never made a game before.
That's not entirely true.
No.
That's not really
Some people have never touched game development before, like me. I have not.
Yeah, some people on the team don't know what they're doing. Even the people who are industry professional people may not entirely know what they're doing.
When I first joined the team, I had no idea what a low and high poly was, or what normals were, the way faces are facing. So I imported weapons that were just invisible, and I was like, what? And these weapons, they had like hundreds of thousands of polygons, terrible topology, didn't even have an unwrap because I didn't know what that was. And that was last year, 1 year ago or so, something like that.
Yeah, it takes a while picking all this stuff up. I think that, you know, at the moment, you're doing well, but there's still definitely things you can do to improve. Same with I just here, because I'm just watching his modeling stream and I see a blatant fucking triangle on his low poly gun.
Yeah. It's a love-hate between tries and polys. Or tries and quads.
You're allowed triangles on your finished low poly, but don't put triangles on something which you're going to subdivide later on.
Hmm. Yeah, when I made this little recoil sliding thing, it was very tricky. So I was trying to copy the exact shape. I mean, I could just poly trace, but I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it by myself. And
Yeah, it's going to look like hell when you do subdivide it eventually.
yeah.
It's probably already hell trying to put edge loops on it.
Oh, we're gonna find out. It can't be that bad. Okay, yeah, it's not that great. Okay.
Yeah, you can't do those loop cuts with the triangle. It just
Gotta have quads. I think we're gonna remake this little guy right here. We're gonna pull this guy out.
So how does Maya how does it do with subdivides?
It
Very
basically does it the same way Max does, just without a modifier. Maya basically has modifiers, it's just that they're all hidden away into the hierarchy.
Because with Blender, when it subdivides, it's like the opposite of triangulate, but it's with quads. So it breaks your whole mesh down into quads.
It breaks the mesh down into quads. What do you mean?
No, it doesn't break it. I have to fucking look into this. I completely forgot my train of thought there.
Okay. But yeah, one of the things I do notice about some of the high polys you've done, Nigis, is that you don't actually have fully smoothed out corners.
So like not entirely like beveled or like softened, or what exactly?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I have said this a million times to people, but I don't think I've said it to you. In the real world, no object is that sharp. Nothing has that sharp of an edge.
No, I learned that. I learned that a long time ago.
Yeah, and when you're grabbing out normal maps from your high poly, you want to make sure that you keep it as realistic as possible, or whatever, for your normal maps. Because the normal maps can do a lot of visual trickery to make something look a lot more smooth than it actually is. As in the last meeting we had, and I talked about the horrors of baking and how horrible things can go if you are doing hard surface baking with very minimal poly count. Because that can turn into hell.
Ooh, Alfred, you're here. Can I actually send you my low poly and my high poly bake mesh and my main low poly, so you can look at how it is?
Yeah, okay.
Or like how it
I'm
bakes.
glad you noticed I was here.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been here for quite a while.
I'm sorry. I had it in my mind last night. I was like, oh, I gotta talk to Alfred about this. I wonder when he's gonna be in a voice chat with me.
Okay, well, go ahead. I actually have my modeling stuff open, so I can have a look.
Okay, I haven't made a proper high poly yet.
What gun is this?
It's just kind of like the exact same as my low poly, but I was just trying to make stuff work in Substance to get a feel for it.
What gun is this?
The Silent Sniper.
Right.
I feel like we need different names for them, because they kind of already named them differently.
Wait, so... It's a good point. What are we going to name the guns?
Because I named my files WAZ2000. I think it's just WA2000.
We'll get there. Let's worry about getting the gameplay done first.
No, we don't need to figure out what we name the guns. I think that's pretty important.
It really is, because if you do finish the gameplay first, you're going to have a lot of different file types if you change the file names after the fact.
I think the gameplay could just be made with one gun with different functionalities. Alas, it takes a while. And so does making all these weapons. Okay, so
Let me
what is
actually see what I sent you. Okay, so you're probably gonna cringe at this, but what I do, I start a substance scene with the WA2000 low bake mesh, and then I go into the baking tab and I bake the high bake mesh, and then I replace the low bake mesh with the just low FBX.
Okay, well, let me have a look at how it all works first. I want to see low bake mesh. I'm looking at it in Max first, and then I'll
Oh.
check it out in. What happened? Oh, Jesus. I see you've exploded it.
Yep.
I think that's a bit excessive.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You don't need to explode it this much. You've exploded like every single tiny component of the gun. Holy cow.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so exploding... You know why it's done, yeah?
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I do.
Okay. So exploding
sorry,
is
I had a bone
done
in my
so
mouth.
that when you bake a normal map and you bake a AO map, there's no intersection. So, for example, an AO map which bakes out shadows, like subtle shadows, you don't want to have. You want to make sure that some objects don't have shadows, but you want only moving objects. You don't want to explode everything. You want to explode only the things which are going to be animated. So, for example, if you pull back the trigger, you don't want the shadow of the trigger to be on the texture. So you want to make sure that the trigger, when you bake it, is exploded out. Yet for the scope, you want to make sure that that AO shadow is on the body of the gun, because it just makes everything have a bit more depth and look a bit more realistic. So when you explode the mesh, you really just want to make sure that anything that's going to be animated, that gets exploded, but everything else stays in place.
Yes, I get that. Or I mean, like, I understand what you're saying with that. Yeah,
I'm not sure you do.
I do. But the thing that I'm thinking about right now is like the bake errors that I have when I'm just like baking like the gun. Would a cage be necessary, or is
Well,
explosion way too far for that?
you can do a cage quite easily with this level of explosion, but it's a really strange thing to say. But I'll have a look at the baking and see what's up. Can you show me what your errors are, just in private chat? I'll open up my...
With the errors, I'm talking with the it's like when you're baking. Oh, one second.
I hope that people enjoy this stuff that they can't see that we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure they
I
do.
just threw away my dad's food. Whoops. My bad. So what I was talking about was like having the model conjoined. I have some parts that bleed over one another. Like with the normal map when it's being baked. I'm not sure if it's, I don't know how baking works, but I'm just gonna say raised because that's what I think is used. It projects it onto the bottom part of the mesh.
Okay, that
So I'm gonna
sounds
have
to me
something
like
similar.
you have something wrong with your normal, or with your unwrap. Overlapping like that doesn't happen due to a cage, because the thing is, this is already exploded, so any errors that happen are due to the unwrap.
No, I mean for a non-exploded mesh, trying to just bake the actual gun from a low poly or from a high poly onto the low poly, just it not exploded, just it looking like an actual gun.
Well, you want to... Did you explode the high poly as well?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Here, I'll get you a picture. I'm not talking about the sniper rifle. I'm talking like in general with baking. So I'll get you a picture of what I mean.
Go ahead.
I don't have a picture of what I mean. I'll make one.
So what's the deal with the sniper then?
I just sent that over to you just to see if it's like acceptable for it to bake like that. If you've baked it yet, if it looks all right.
I can try and bake it. I mean, you'll get a good normal map, and you just won't get a good AO map because the AO map's going to be have no shadow because you exploded the. Did you explode the scope? You did.
Oh.
As well. Yeah. This is excessive. You shouldn't do it this much. I'll get you an example of how you should explode your gun.
I'm new to this.
Yeah, so this is what I don't like about the term baking. As soon as I put into Google exploding for baking, you know what comes up?
I have to see.
Exploded fucking, like, lasagna and cakes. Is glass bakeware safe anymore? The dangers of exploding cake.
My goodness. Exploding sandwich bag? Oh my.
Yeah,
Oh, there's a little child chemist right there. That's not good.
okay, I'll specify and then I'll see if I can use. Yeah, this is a good example. This isn't a gun, but it's still a good example.
Okay, so my question I have is, why do you need to explode the mesh?
I just explained this.
For the animation part?
Yeah, so
Okay.
let's say for example you have a shotgun and you have to pump the shotgun, yeah?
Yep.
When you pull the pump back, if you've baked out an AO map, what would happen is if you pull the pump back, there's going to be a shadow where the pump was on the barrel.
That's kind of like the same thing that I have when I'm baking a normal map. Some of it does bleed over like that.
Yes, that's why you explode the mesh, because you explode parts that move so that when they do move, they don't leave anything behind.
All right, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. All right,
It's purely for animation purposes. Everything else should be left as is.
Like how my major taught us nothing about modeling and doing stuff for games.
Well, that's quite common. Doing stuff for games is very specialist. You really need to know all of these things and the technical stuff behind it. And a lot of teachers just don't know it because it's not needed for other kinds of like offline rendering is a completely different beast to real-time rendering.
I once had 34 computers at my school, rendering out of Maya. It was great.
Was it rendering separate projects, or was it like in parallel?
Some shots, I think I mean, there were varying moments. There were moments where I'd have at least 5 or 6 computers. I'd probably be working on 4 or 5 shots, but every shot had maybe X amount of computers working on it, and it would all go to the same server or the same folder in the server. So then I'd be working at my own desk, and I have the PC next to me with the browser open, showing me all the frames as they were being rendered and then actually finished.
That is probably the coolest thing I've ever heard.
It was really neat. It was neat because in the settings you can just hit on the render settings, just skip frame or something like that. If they're skip skip existing frames or something like that. I think that's what it says. So it would just the computer would see, oh, this other computer is rendering this frame, so I'll just go to the next one in line. I was like, oh, okay. If that makes any sense.
Something's wrong.
It does. Ooh, please share.
Well, I'm not quite sure what's happened here. But when I attempted to bake your sniper with the high poly thing, this is what happened. Didn't actually bake properly. And instead, there are streaks going across the whole entire thing.
Let me bake that, because that I didn't think happened the first time, which doesn't make a lot of sense as to why it would happen now.
Try again. I might have loaded the wrong thing. And... Wait. What the fuck?
I cannot tell you how many times everybody has said that about one of my models when I've been on the team. I know Josh has dropped about 7 so far, I believe. I have a counter for it, actually. Hey, I'm still learning, though.
It's fine. Don't discourage you. I think this is the issue with something like Rewind, is that Rewind people have sort of varying degrees of experience, and some people kind of don't expect to see certain things. And what the? I won't say it again. I was just about to say it again.
What the frick?
It's okay. We've already gone to the R rating. It's gonna take a lot to get beyond that, though.
Actually, there's a huge swear count for TV-14 and PG-13. Actually, not PG-13. TV-14, definitely.
Okay, let's look at this.
Did we ever get the silenced pistol textures done?
Austin, why is the high poly almost the same poly count as the low poly?
I haven't made the high poly yet, so I was just doing this as like a little training thing.
Right. Okay. Forgive me for sounding confused, but I am confused as to what I'm doing.
Yeah, hi. I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah, I tried it again, and yeah, there's still streaks across it. I can't say for sure what's causing that. It's not a common glitch. It usually happens when something's wrong with the unwrap, or something's gone wrong with the high poly. And considering there isn't a high poly, that might be one of the reasons why.
So where are you getting the streaks?
Everywhere.
Cool.
It looks like it's been wrapped in plastic, and there are bubbles in the plastic.
It's like bubble wrap.
No, not bubble wrap. Bubbles in the plastic. You know, if you have like really kind of sort of adhesive, well, not adhesive, but plastic which really sticks on. You know, it gets right on there. Well, if sometimes you get bubbles in that plastic, and then it kind of has this really strange look, and that's what this looks like right now.
No thanks.
Sure. What?
No thanks.
What do you mean no thanks?
I don't want the sticky bubble wrap.
It's not bubble wrap, it's plastic.
I would prefer bubble wrap. Oh no.
Albert's like, shut up! It's not bubble wrap. Trying to learn you some knowledge.
Regardless, this shouldn't be happening. Another thing which might have happened is the automated cage just could be terrible. Which has happened. Sometimes programs read the normals in a way which they shouldn't, and it causes issues, but another cause of the issues is that there isn't a high poly.
I think normals are stupid. Why are they even a thing?
I'm sending you what what my screen looks like right now with my stuff.
Holy cow. Yeah, that's bad. What is going on?
Yeah, very.
Can you send me the high poly for that?
Oh yeah, I sent you all the files.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Yep. So what I do, I load the low bake mesh, and then I bake it with the high bake mesh. Then I go to project configuration to replace it with the low FBX.
Wait, what do you mean? The high bake mesh you sent me is a low poly model.
Yeah. It's a kind of like a placeholder for it. I'm just trying to practice the baking thing. But I guess if it isn't truly a high poly, I guess that does make sense.
Okay, well, I know why you're getting some of those glitches actually. It's because some of those edges on that model aren't chamfered and aren't smoothed. As I said, you kind of need to do that to prevent glitches like this from happening.
So for the high poly, it's you bevel those edges out.
Well, when making a high poly, typically you don't really do beveling and things like that. What you do is how can I explain this? Yeah, I'll make you an example. I'll make a box.
Ooh.
It's going to be a box. Okay, and I'll screen cap and send this to you. And I'll actually I should probably just post this in. I'll post this in weapon chat, so that Argus can look at this as well, because this concerns him too. This is a box. If you try and bake that box, you will have loads of problems, because that box is unrealistic. How is it unrealistic? Nothing has edges that sharp. You can never have an edge like that on a high poly model. It will just give you so many problems when you try and bake it. The whole point of a high poly model is that you're meant to completely utilize the high polyness of the model, so that you don't have any of those kinds of faces. Any of them. Not even one. Not even a slight one. Avoid them altogether. So, what I do, and what most people do, is use the edge loop tool and draw loops. That doesn't actually fix the issue though, because you still have that problem. So what you do is you subdivide it, and now you have something that looks like this. It still looks like garbage, but the whole point of actually putting on edge loops is that the more you put on, the smoother it looks. And so I'm going to put a couple more on, and it will preserve the shape of the box. So now, what you get is you get this really nice, refined edge there. See that? That's what you want. That's what you want on your high poly models.
Nice little flesh cube.
That's just the automatic color it was in Max.
Bit of skin texture on there.
But no, seriously, that is very important to do that for your high poly models. If you don't do that, you're going to get a lot of errors.
So instead of beveling, do you think it's better to just do the edge loops?
Well, you can bevel. You can bevel, it'll do the same thing, but you need to subdivide it. You can't not subdivide it. If you just bevel, you're going to have the exact same issue.
By subdivide, you mean just adding in the edge loops to make more faces?
Smoothing out the whole entire model.
Oh, okay.
So, like just while you're working on this, select something which you've beveled or whatever.
Yep.
Go into mesh, so you need to go into modeling. I don't know why you're rigging.
Yeah, I don't know what. Okay. Go into smooth or?
Yeah, I think it's smooth.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh.
And you'll see what's happened.
Yeah. This is all alien. Of course,
yeah.
I mean, if you hit 1 and 3 on the keyboard, you can go back and forth between like a smooth preview.
Yeah, not when you're baking.
Hmm.
I mean, you can for a smooth preview. That's a good thing. You should use a smooth preview while you're working on it. But when you're baking, you need to export it in that smooth state.
Hmm.
So you need to really work on getting it right.
That's fair.
It's not an easy thing to do. It is very difficult to do, especially if you just kind of go in and start modeling. It's why some people prefer Modo and programs which have a kind of a not typical system. Modo allows you to do a lot of booleans, so you don't have to actually work intricately with the edge loops.
Ugh.
But then you can just retopologize the model later and then still have the smooth mesh. But you need to have the mesh smoothed.
Of course, you can Boolean in Maya, but it's very iffy.
Yeah, it's iffy in most programs. Modo does it the best.
Hmm.
Like, try and smooth that. Press 3.
Huh. It looks nice.
Let's have a look. I'm still waiting for
Yeah,
the stream to
I know.
Jesus. Yeah, see, this is what you want to avoid. I can search for an old example that I did. Because this is... It's unfortunate, because if you've been modeling without doing this, you might need to go back and...
Change a lot of things. Oh, for sure. I mean, with the guns I've been modeling, I haven't been, like, getting to a point where I'm like, okay, it's completely done. Like, I get it to a point where it's like, okay, it's about there. Now, whenever the team wants me to, wants that gun in, we're going to go back and we're going to do what needs to be done to it. But the actual brute force work of actually getting the model there is done, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the sculpt and all the fine tuning and sculpting needs to be done then.
So I actually have an example of a high poly model I did. And I'll just show that to you so you get a basic idea of what kind of thing you should have. It's by no means a really good hard surface model because A, I made it quickly, and B, I'm not that good of a high poly artist.
Crazy.
Hard surface artist, sorry. So let me just grab a screen cap of it. But the thing you should notice with it is how smooth the edges are, and that's really the thing you need to aim for. So I posted that in the weapon chat as well.
Oh. I think I remember you showing me this model. We were talking
about the low poly version, and the low poly version is sort of I showed it to you to kind of tell you what can go wrong.
You're like look at, like, do you spot what's wrong in the bake? I'm like, this looks really good. And you zoom into like 3 pixels, and you're like, look at that. I was like, oh.
It's pretty important, and of course there's an issue there that has happened with the high poly. I've just noticed, but overall you should be aiming for the kind of smooth edges, which kind of have if you put a specular on it, it should catch the specular, it should catch the light. It shouldn't ever be flat. Like if you selected the model and you just pressed soften edge inside of Maya, then basically you should have it so that your model, when you soften the edge, it looks good. It doesn't look bad.
Here, Ofik, this is what he was talking about. I don't think you care that much about showing that model, I'm guessing.
The gun?
Yeah.
Oh no, I deeply care. What are you doing?
You posted it in the weapon chat.
Well, I'm not showing the Discord. I opened it up in like a separate image. That's okay. I wouldn't dare make the mistake that you did, Austin, when we were hanging out that one time. Yeah. Yeah, I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out.
Which mistake?
You accidentally showed the actual the server for the TimeSplitters like rewind development team. It was very brief. I mean, it's not like oh, look at that.
I delete my streams, so I delete my streams. I'm checking if I delete my streams. I'm gonna delete these streams.
Wait, what? What streams?
Alfred's like, oh, you're fired.
Oh, you don't attend my streams, Alfred?
You're welcome. Office. I'm gonna call you Office because Offic just sounds really weird. Or Ofic.
Are you talking about my name, Austin?
No, the guy in the chat.
Oh my gosh! I thought. Oh, okay. That makes so much.
Austin,
Okay.
where is your streaming channel? I want to see these streams now.
It's Austin1234.
That is so
You
creative.
serious?
Yeah, it has my aunt's 2 puppies as the profile picture.
The first thing that comes up is a Roblox account.
Ah!
Oh, yeah. There was a time in ninth grade computer class. I didn't want to do homework, so I just hopped on like the Roblox version of Call of Duty and just played the heck out of it. It's actually a lot of fun. There's a Battlefield one called Phantom Forces that I actually kind of want to play again. Just
Phantom
like,
Forces
version of Battlefield. It's so cool. Like no crap.
Which stream did he mess up in then?
Oh, I don't remember what it was. Cause
Oh.
cause like he doesn't name them like I do, like 001.
How
and all
long
that.
ago was it?
Oh gosh, maybe like a couple months.
Do you remember what I was doing during it?
You were turning the hammer on the pistol into a penis.
Oh, yep, that one. Okay, yep.
It was probably that one.
I know exactly where this is. Yes.
Why do you know exactly where this is?
Austin's streams are pretty fun.
What does he do in his streams?
Not be productive.
Really?
I mean, I'll be honest. If I wasn't streaming, I was by myself modeling, I'd be a lot faster. I just noticed the music has stopped. Oh my gosh. We've had no music for a long time. Okay.
Well, I said to you, you're asking for trouble going into a chat which anybody can jump into.
Oh, exactly.
Because anybody can come in here and start.
That's the best part.
Causing a ruckus.
Well, I for one would rather have you and Austin here than be by myself. So there you go.
That just sounds very lonely.
Well, better to have conversation than let my mind drift onto things it shouldn't be drifting onto.
I know, we're letting some like intricate details spill on this stream. I'm surprised. It's a good thing not many people are watching it.
Oh, it's
otherwise you might have leaks.
Leaks.
Maybe people don't know the intricacies of the project. Like, hush hush, don't tell anybody we told you this. But Rewind, it's releasing tomorrow.
I still want to do that whole like interview thing that we talked about. Like at some point we're gonna do that.
What, interview?
Or just story time. Story time with Crazy Boo on the history of Rewind.
Right.
Unfiltered. Yeah. That is
not
what
unfiltered. We need to make sure it's not inflammatory.
Well, right, but I mean, like as far as like you want to get the facts straight, you know?
Yeah, and we have documentation. We have like team meetings from 2015.
Oh my gosh.
Probably regarding Austin's application to the team.
What?
I'm joking about that part, but we do have old team meetings.
If you actually like had that recorded, I would love to watch that. I'd probably cry after, but still, that would be really cool.
They're not recorded. They're just
just like,
transcribed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That pistol looks dope. Who modeled that?
I can tell you who Reed apologized.
Yeah.
And did the UVs for it.
How popular do your streams get, I guess?
You know what? I had like 19 at one point. I was like, ooh. Thing is, I'm still very new to this whole like Discord thing, so I'm like the underdog. You know, like no one knows who I am. Like who's this idiot?
I mean, technically, here, let me get you.
Versus comparison to like Damien, when he streams, he's got up in the hundreds. You know.
Like around a little more than 1,000 people know who you are because you're at the top of the developer list.
What?
On the public chat.
What?
What?
Yeah, there's like 1,650 exactly members in the public Discord.
Right.
Jeez.
So whenever someone gets on, they're always going to see that Aegis Mind hashtag 4440 is up there.
So close to having all fours.
What the hell are you talking about?
Well, I mean, like, he said that people don't know him, but they technically do because they see his name every day. when they log on.
Gabe Newell knows me.
But I understand what you're saying, like how Damien is definitely more, or he was kind of like the face of Rewind.
I mean, he's a legend.
When I first found about it. Yeah, I get that.
He's a legend.
I would say so. Yeah.
He's like one of the big
Crazy
three.
Boo too, though.
He's like one of the big three. You got him, Crazy Boo, and Steve.
That's real. That's TimeSplitters real.
That's TimeSplitters real, dude. You are making history, Crazy Boo.
That's the whole team.
That's the whole team. Yep. Honestly, I'm surprised there are people from 2013 that are still around.
There's like 2.
That kind of shocks me.
Or at least I think so. How many are there?
Well, it was me, Damien, and Steven are the only people who were left from the original team. And I'm not the same role as I was when I joined. Damien isn't either, so it's just Steven, technically.
I love how Damien doesn't even like talk to anybody. He's just kind of like off doing his own thing. Like I hardly see him participate in the chat on here.
Oh, are you talking about Parmesan?
Parmesan, yeah.
Yep. I love that name actually. When I watched that live stream, that was actually the morning that I was like, had the flu. I was so just distant. I hated it. I was trying to watch the stream and lay in my friend's bed. I was like, oh jeez, that's terrible.
Oh.
You were watching the stream and you thought the stream was terrible.
No. I felt terrible because I had the flu at my friend's house watching Damien 8 stream at 8 in the morning.
Yeah. So the news did spread in the end. I was always on the fence when he told me because I was thinking, wait, do people know? How many people in the team actually know this? Because he hasn't made any official announcements on the team.
Do people know what? Oh, because like that video he did recently, that stream.
I did a live stream for it.
Yeah. I watched it like a couple days after it happened. And like, yeah, you're right though. No one made mention of it. No one talked about it.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, he gets work done, so.
Well, not anymore.
That's a good thing.
I'm kind of in the wait, what?
Well, I mean, it is a good thing because he's been on the project for such a long time. Yeah. It's nice to see him starting to move away from it.
Yeah,
it's good for him.
I agree. I probably shouldn't talk too much about the subject anymore, but I do think that it's a good thing because he's
because not a lot of people know him personally, and I don't. I'm sorry for interrupting, but let's just.
Did you just fucking sush me? Overall, yeah. So really, it's Steven who's actively on the project, still working on it, from 2013.
I love this push to talk feature. If my mic wasn't on push to talk, you would hear me just fucking die. Oh my god, you killed me with that.
One day, Steven will break.
That is, Steven is a rock. He's just a big rock.
He's going to enjoy the stream. I know that for sure.
He doesn't watch who watches my streams?
What if like you saw Damien, Damu, Jackson, Jill, Liam, and Steven and Josh? I'll just hop in the second I said that. Or the second you said that. Who watches my streams?
You just hear dum 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 like everyone just pops in the chat. What? Who said that?
Did I hear doubt?
Crazy Boo. How many people were on the team in that first year where CryEngine was being used? Like way back with like.
I can't remember. There was me, Hannah, Dan, Fen.
Dan, like community manager Dan?
No, Dan Francis.
Oh.
He made Duckman Drake.
Oh, that Dan.
Then how many people did I just list? Okay. Let me start again. Okay. Dan, Hannah, me, then before I came along, there was someone else. There were loads of people who I didn't meet, so unfortunately, I can't actually properly remember. But there were
Oh.
quite a few people. The team was quite large and active at that time. There was progress being made like daily, and it was good progress. And then that all changed.
Back when the Fire Nation attack.
Hell yeah.
Sorry.
Don't apologize for the Fire Nation.
But yeah, no, it's been a long been a long road. Like there's so many, it's always painful though because you see people asking what's going on. It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
It's like, look.
Well, that's why we
lot
need to
of
do that
stuff
video, that unfiltered video.
I don't know, like what Josh was saying about your other video idea. I think he's gonna have the same or worse response to that.
You know what? But I will go against Josh on this one. People need to know the truth.
Well, I told Josh about that as well, and Josh said, "No, you should wait till it's done." And I was thinking, what?
when is that ever gonna happen? Because, hey, Alfred, have I asked your opinion on why you think Rewind was started?
Why I think Rewind was started?
Yeah.
I actually don't have a strong view on that because before Rewind was started, I was already doing TimeSplitters stuff on Source. I wasn't part of that whole Gmod thing, but I was doing this thing where I jump around from mod idea to mod idea, and one of those mod ideas was like not a remake of TimeSplitters, but like a side story of TimeSplitters. And it obviously didn't get done, and it was really bad, and I was really young when I did it. But overall, when I saw Rewind done, I couldn't help but think, yeah, that's a good love letter to this game series I really like. Because after hearing about Black Mesa and all those other projects, I just thought, why shouldn't there be one for TimeSplitters? It's one of those things where there's just some parts of it which were, I've always loved TimeSplitters, but TimeSplitters 1, even though I love that game to death, more so than other people, because a lot of people find issues with it, I find very few issues with it. But the issues that I do find could be amended just by upscaling the game into a better resolution, to a better quality. And I think that overall, I don't really know why TimeSplitters was properly started in terms of the thought put behind it. I do know why it was. I guess I do know technically why it was started, though. Like if I were to actually go into the reasons behind it, it's because some dude, can't remember his name, I think it was Dan Masoli, was making a Unreal Tournament 2004 mod in which you could play TimeSplitters. I guess it's just a mod of Unreal Tournament, so it's just Unreal Tournament gameplay with TimeSplitters characters and TimeSplitters maps ripped from the actual game. This didn't really go anywhere though because it got slapped with a cease and desist. So he basically said, I think it was him, well, if we do all the assets ourselves, could we do it? And I think Crytek said yes, but do it in our engine. And thus Rewind was kind of born from there. He didn't stick around for long though. By the time I joined the project, Dan Wasoli was long gone, and he left Michael Hubicker in charge. And Michael Hubicker was just this other guy who didn't really do much aside from be this guy who led the team. And by lead the team, I mean he was basically the cheerleader. He really was. He was really kind of enthusiastic and sort of was good at actually talking to people. And then what ended up happening after that was hell broke loose. Some things were promised which didn't happen to the team and to the press.
I can't wait till we do this video.
It was a very mixed bag. And then the whole Unreal Engine thing happened. And then, I left in 2016, so I was a bit out of the loop during a good portion of 2017. Of course, I was brought back into the loop by the current team lead, and now here we are. Jose, yes, you said his name right.
Yes, I do. I make a habit of that.
Yeah, people call him Jose.
I used to call him Jose.
Yeah, I immediately knew somehow that his name wasn't Jose.
Yeah, because he's French. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's not how you... Yeah, so it would be Jose, and Josh just calls him Joes. Josh, fuck.
Josie.
I could just see Josh was coming in here, just saying, "Oh, hi guys," just completely like derailing the conversation on Joe's.
Yeah. Oh, someone else left.
Crazy Boo, you need to join our streams more often.
Why?
Because I like having conversation like this. It's fun.
I'm like half asleep.
I know you are. I'm like, holy crap! It's probably like 2:30 his time or 3.
It is 2:30.
But the more we talk about the past, I'm like, we gotta do this video idea. Like, I just,
Yeah.
the truth has to come out.
I think it's a good idea. I think the truth has to come out. It's true, but it should not be done hastily, and it should be handled with tact, and it should be presented well. So when the video is done, you know, just have a lot of visual examples of what's going on. And I think we should still get at least some input from the rest of the team before going ahead and releasing it, so it doesn't feel like we're undermining anyone.
I just feel like we're not gonna be able to. Like, there's gonna be someone that's like, no.
Yeah, I mean, but we're always gonna have the person who says yes, and the person who says yes is gonna make sure, not make sure, but try and sway the other's opinion.
Cause like, I'm not saying that like this needs to be on the actual Rewind channel, and I'm not saying it has to be on my channel. Like, we can make another channel just for this video. Like, I really don't.
You know, give it to Austin.
Or
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sure that guy would love to have it.
But it's just the idea of having, like, you know, because I was asking myself before I joined, like, why is it taking them so long? I just didn't know the facts.
Like, yeah, the thing that I was like asking. Oh, sorry. What?
I said not many people do. Go on.
Oh, all right. The thing that I thought to myself was like why it was started, and how it took them this long to get. I mean, I really didn't see how far you guys were along in like 2015 to 17, just because there was very little information released about it besides the maps and some characters. I remember the character dump. There was that. But I was just thinking about like the amount of content. And I was just like saying like how could anybody finish this within 10 years? It just seems like a very long time, even for like a AAA project.
Well, it seemed very possible back in the day because we actually worked out how long it would take to, at least for characters, how long it would take a character, and we split the character load between 4 people.
Jeez.
And that 4 became me. So it was something which obviously wasn't a desired outcome. Hannah wanted to do all the robots.
Yeah, you told me about that one. About like why it didn't go through.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Hannah took a while to make a robot.
There was a lot of shit in those robots, like good shit.
Yeah, no, she did a very good job, but she did spend quite a while making that one robot.
The aesthetic one.
Yeah, the aesthetic.
Dude, when I saw that, I like went straight to my Kick chat.
Yeah.
When I had Kick with my friends, I was like, "Guys, look at this, Daniel! It's happening." He's like my longtime buddy I played TimeSplitters with.
I'm just surprised you guys are so silent with all the work that you guys were doing. Like, I mean, like you mentioned it before, Alfred. You mentioned like when we were talking, like how in that period of 4 years you only released 1 character. Like how? Like why? Like why wouldn't you show off like 1 every 2 months or so?
I think that there was this conflict in the team, particularly between me and the level guys, because we all had very different philosophies about displaying this work. My philosophy was amaze people. Show something which will, you know, be which will make them kind of get excited, and it's like, I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to think of a good analogy for this. Like when you just causing a panic, let the floodgates open, and then show them all this really high quality work that we do. That was how I thought we should do it if we were going to be secretive at all. Steven and Damien, however, were just showing off really early work in progress work, which didn't get finished. Or sorry, not didn't get finished, but weren't finished. And I didn't like this because it kind of, I felt that this kind of lowered the expectations of what's expected from the team. And, you know, it got to a certain point where I thought, there's a better way of doing this, and that's not being secretive at all. Of course, a whole thing about us being secretive was a bit misguided. And in the end, we just moved away. We've stuck to that secrecy, but I think we're trying to move away from it now.
I sure as hell am trying.
Yeah.
But Josh,
especially
like, no.
with all the streams going on.
No, I'm like.
I do want to do that video just because I want to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
I think Josh has like trouble kind of like putting his thoughts into words, and he like, I guess legally can't put his thoughts into words because the NDA that he signed with Crytek, and he can't talk to us about it. And like for the reasons why he doesn't want to release stuff right now. Like I don't think anybody knows besides him.
Well, I didn't sign any NDA, even when there was an NDA quite recently sent out to everybody, and I got one as well, and I said, well, I didn't say anything, I just didn't sign it.
Yeah. I don't think Jackson's gonna like talk to you again about that.
Well, I don't see the point. I really don't. It's why should I keep hush about something I've been a part of for so long?
Yeah.
I feel like one of the things I get to talk about when it comes to Rewind is how much of a cautionary tale it is. It's a very cautionary tale for people who want to get into doing these kinds of fan projects, because it just goes to show that you have all of these hurdles to overcome, and you may not overcome them at all. I can give you so many stories of other fan projects which haven't got as far as Rewind has, because of one reason or another, or having to lose all their work like this project has time and time again, which I would definitely mention on video.
Yeah.
I think people kind of should know that the project has had to scrap so much work that people have done.
Can we just, and
that's why people leave.
Can we just like get this done in the next like week or two? Like, it just pains me to like have this be all bottled up for as long as it has been.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Oh, David, did you sign the NDA?
What?
Did you sign the NDA?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good answer. It's exactly what you should say when people ask you about the NDA. Just say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't care whose channel it goes on. I just want it to be out there. You can just give it to some bloke. Hey, upload this video.
Or Classy Ham.
I mean, yeah, he probably would understand. I've talked to him about this on more than one occasion.
Say we go for it.
But make it, don't, not yet.
But like I said, like in a message, crazy, but I was like, you really just need to try and backtrack everything. Like, we got to get the whole picture.
Well, I remember most of it pretty well. It's just finding visual references on top of...
We don't even need visuals, but if you want, yeah, for sure. I mean...
Hey, speaking of visuals, does anybody have Michael Quebec's video that he put out a very long time ago?
I would love to find that. Just a second.
I was talking with someone I thought he had,
Let's rewind.
but I have to get back to him.
It would be nice, but typing it in doesn't actually give
It's
me...
a hard thing to find. I spent
Yeah.
a lot of time with it. I found the thumbnails and I found screenshots, but I haven't found the video.
Michael Hubick, embarrassing story.
Yeah, try and spell that last name.
I think I've seen it enough to know how it's spelled.
Yeah, it's spelt with a CK.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Oh yeah, he did an interview on fan service, which was a
I remember that.
upcoming... I don't even know what this thing was. I don't think it ever really happened, this show. But he was on an interview for it where he showed some of the work. And they... You know, this was around the time we released one of the first... This was the first time a picture of my model was released. And it was the Viola model I did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't shown on this show. They showed every other model from the post, but except my one.
Ugh.
I don't know why. I mean, was it something to do with with the character?
I mean, it could be the skin color. I think Michael, he said, hey, let's include all different types of races, human and alien and robot. Didn't want to discriminate.
Austin, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm just talking shit again. As to why he didn't include your model, I'm sorry.
It wasn't him
I'm
who
fucking
did it.
stupid
It was the
sometimes.
people who did the program.
Oh, kind of like how Unilad and Gameology made their videos just solely on your characters and nothing else.
Kind of. Yeah, I find that a bit funny.
That was really funny.
But it's like, I made the post.
Dante!
And I said, oh, yeah. I don't know if these characters are going to be used in the game, and then there's people doing videos saying, look at these characters! Ugh.
Honestly, you can only make him better.
That impression. That was good.
Alfred, he is a voice actor. He is the best voice actor.
Who is?
Alfred.
Oh yeah, I can do voices.
I never said you. I didn't even know your name was Alfred.
What?
I was talking about the other Alfred.
Who's Alfred?
I mean, I don't know who Alfred is. Sure as fucking crazy boo.
Isn't he that guy who left?
Yeah.
Yes. I remember actually another thing as well is that some people didn't actually follow the link on the main website, and Seb posted the nurse model I did, but nobody clicked on the link because it was a hyperlinked image, and so they didn't actually see the rest of the characters. So there were some people who said they showed off one new character.
Yeah, are you
thought,
talking about the forum post?
Oh yeah, well.
That was
There were
such a
few
good
people.
day. Thank you for doing that. Like,
That
I'm
was an
sorry to
amazing
interrupt.
day.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but like seriously, that made my day so much to see all that stuff. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, thanks.
And then I was sad that I saw you left, and I was like,
Yeah, it was.
And then somewhere that was lost in translation that they couldn't use Alfred's characters.
Yeah, it's complicated, but I think the thing is, even after I said it was fine directly to Josh, he was still telling people he doesn't want us using his characters. And on the one hand, it's like I think the characters could be done a lot better now.
oh, for
But
sure.
really-
But at this point, this sucker needs a ship. Like, we can keep redoing shit.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, is that I ended up sort of saying is that when you accept other character artists onto the team, use my work as like the quality bar. And you still haven't found anybody despite the amount of character artist applications there have been. And I'm not trying to, like, sort of rub my own ego or anything. It's just that...
It's hard to get someone that knows as much as you do for character art. That's just the
Right.
reality. Like, we're not going to sugarcoat it. You know your shit. And you've honed your craft for years. And we got wannabe character artists that are coming in trying to be like, yeah, I can do characters. And it's like, oh.
Hey. I was a wannabe. What was I? Actually wanted to do like level design back when I had zero experience and thought that I had all the experience in the world.
Wait, you want to do level? Why did you do level design?
Because I saw Damien A's video and I said, hey, I can do that too. I was only like
But why
14
didn't
at
you
the
do
time.
level design?
I don't even know how I got into weapons. Honest to God, I
Isn't
don't know how I got
Is it-
here.
Is it
Well,
just because
you
love guns
messaged me,
so much?
Austin. I remember at one point on Facebook, I remember you messaging me, and I was like, "Who is this bloke?" Like, and you're like, "Hey, I
Yeah,
want."
hey, I have a question about Halo 5 Forge. No reply.
Oh gosh, did I seriously not reply to you? I feel bad now.
No, you left me like on red for like a solid 4 or 5 months.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
It's like,
Because like I saw it was like a 50 gigabyte download, and I was like, do I really want to download this?
Wait, how did you sue me again?
Oh, what can you repeat?
oh, the crazy boo. So Jose told us the other day in our
Jose.
chat. Sorry. Jose said that we were able to use your characters, and I made mention like, can we at least tell like the other like the fan server like this is a thing, because like I know they've been worrying, and he's like,
there's this guy on the. Sorry, go on.
but well, so what he said was, well, I'm waiting on the list from like the list of characters, I guess, was what he said. So at some point in the very near future, could you get that that list to him, or at least you know what, just say it out loud yourself. Hey, everyone can use my characters, or they can use my characters.
They can't, because some of those characters just aren't finished.
Right.
Can't be used in the game.
Yeah, when you broke it down for me that one day, I understood exactly what you were saying, and I would hate to have that. Or no, I wouldn't hate to have that, but I would hate to have an unfinished model, because you did show what was unfinished about it, how the holster was a square.
Yeah, there were things like that. There are lots of models I'd love to be in Rewind, because they are like some of the best quality stuff I've done, but they're not finished.
Alfred,
Like,
you have to do the Cropolite for me. I will do whatever you want me to do. I want the Cropolite.
You want the Cropolite?
Grab your brilliant, pat your head.
I love the I could do that, but I have a headset on right now, so.
Yeah, well, I don't even want you to do that.
Do it on stream. Get the face cam going.
I don't have a camera.
Get one.
I've already invested so much.
You said you wanted this model, David.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Please don't.
Yeah, Austin, why are you like acting like my manager at the moment?
I just love to mess with David.
I think that I do work for tit for tat, because you know, if somebody wants me to help out, then they either have to pay me or grant me a considerable favor,
Or just, bribe you with kind words like I do.
I'll make guns.
Listen,
I'll model guns for your project, your game project you're working on. How many guns do I need to make for you to make, or at least model for you to do the Cropolite?
I think first you should probably learn how to have the whole entire process of modeling guns.
Yeah, I know.
So you learn the smoothing and everything as well.
But I don't want to do that. I want a Cropolite now.
Okay, well the thing is, if I do kind of like ever finish up characters, I'll only select a couple I'll finish up for Rewind. And it would probably just be Ilsa and, I don't know, something else.
Something at the Cropolite.
The Cropolite isn't even started. I mean, there are so many unfinished things here. If I look, then there are a lot of models. How many model folders are there? 43. 43 different characters, which are in a state that can be finished, or are already finished.
You pretty much made the amount of characters for any like shooter game or like fighting game. Like, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I mean,
don't you sugarcoat it. You did.
No, I was actually going to move on slightly and say, if I were to do a shooter game now, I probably wouldn't give it that many characters.
Yeah.
Probably just try and keep it to a much smaller amount than the 300 which are in TimeSplitters. I think that's the thing, is that there's just so much.
Mm-hmm.
And what you realize is that it's kind of quantity over quality when you get to a certain point. You don't want that to happen. You want it to all be good quality. Or at least consistent. And Rewind is anything but consistent in terms of the work that goes into it. People of different skill levels, different just general experience, and different art styles, and so on and so forth. I mean, you weapon guys have it easy.
Mm.
All I heard was weapon guys and easy. Those two words don't mix.
Compared to everyone else.
Yeah, 'cause
I
like,
think that's why I found weapon art. Yeah.
it's like regardless, if we don't have textures, we can at least do animation. We can do gameplay. We can do sound. And I mean, those guns can be relatively finished until we get like all the baking, high poly, low poly bullshit. And
You know, Alfred, I really wish that I had a picture of the finished textures that I could send you, because I did make some really nice ones. But I just felt terrible the whole time I was sending you just complete shit from me. I just hated that.
Wait, you did some textures, but you're not going to send them to me because...
I did nice ones, but I don't know where the file went.
Oh, you don't know where the file went? Okay.
No. And my workflow back then was really messy, so the file, it just destroys my computer whenever I try and load it. Or used it, and I remember that.
Sorry, sometimes the audio from the stream comes on, and I get very confused.
Oh, you have that audio on?
No, but I sometimes listen to it because I'm curious to see how long the delay is. And then I come back and I'm just thinking, wait, where am I? Who am I? What's going on?
What day is this?
Well, it's not Thursday. It's Thursday.
It is Thursday, yep.
It's Thursday for me.
That's gonna be Thursday for me.
It will always one day be Thursday for you.
Every day is Thursday for me. Ha 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 ha. I really have very little motivation every day.
I can tell. You gotta get that sniper texturing done.
I'm just tired. I'm always up so late, and I just wake up at 6 in the morning, and I don't
What are you
wake
doing up so late, though?
Sometimes working on Rewind, and other times just playing Call of Duty.
Working on Rewind. What a joke.
The amount of people who like have an aneurysm when they hear you say working on Rewind or playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, like, yeah, I'm working on Rewind, and it says like under your name on the right, like, oh, he's not playing Call of Duty.
Some days, yes. I mean, some days it's just a Call of Duty.
The path of a game dev is one not to play games.
Yeah, it kind of is.
That being said, I do play video games.
I saw that. I saw you playing some games the other day on my Steam. I was like, ooh. I wonder how many.
I didn't.
I'm sorry. This guy, like, I play Call of Duty and I'm in this hardcore game, and just everybody thinks I'm a hacker. I'm just hurt. It really hurts me.
Really hurts.
Wait,
me
you're
as
playing
the
right now?
I mean,
You're killing me.
I mean, yeah.
what games did you see I was playing though?
PUBG.
Oh, just PUBG. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering how many Desperado cases you got and sold for like 10 cents or whatever they're at now. They were at $5, and my friend told me to don't sell it.
It will get higher, and then it just went right down. Yeah.
It did.
I've gotten one Desperado crate, thankfully.
I've gotten 3 in a row when it was at its lowest.
I don't actually buy more than 1 crate a week, though. I just get 1. And then I get whatever shit items inside, and then I'm done with it.
That's actually why I gave up CSGO, is because I always like bought cases and bought keys and just opened them, and I just wasted so much money on that game.
Yeah, I didn't Funnily enough, most of the times I was opening cases in CS:GO, people were buying me keys.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's cases have good friends, but it was kind of an empty gesture because most of the time you just didn't get anything good from it anyway. And so
Like I liked it because I didn't like when I like what I started to do was whenever I got a case, I bought a key for it and opened it, and not like bought cases. So it was like a little happy surprise because like I don't buy skins either, so it was like I open up a really nice skin and say like, hey, this is mine now. So like I throw like a $5 name tag on it, which is way too overpriced, and I just like it for what it is, not the price of it.
I think you're bluffing.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like gambling.
Well, you see, it's not because it's a video game.
Yeah, okay.
Still real money.
No, I mean, I was just kidding. I was just playing the role of EA or.
I know.
It's all right.
It is one of those things which is, it's like a loophole. It's like how in Japan you have pachinko machines because you can't actually have proper gambling.
How do you know that information?
How do I know that information?
Yeah.
What do you mean? How do I know that? We're living in an age of information. What are you talking about?
Did you actually go to Japan? Because I have a feeling that you did at some point.
I did. I just came back from
You did?
Japan.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was just making sure because I didn't want to say exactly where Alfred is because I just.
No, I'm
just
in
felt
England
that
now,
would be
but I was
weird.
in Japan over December.
How was that?
It was interesting. Bought a lot of stuff.